FIREFORGED EMPIRE is a complete overhaul mod to rediscover Total War ATTILA in harder versions, incorporating a lot of gameplay modifications compared to the base game. It is quite different from Fall of the Eagles and Europa Perdita, which for a long time was the only overhaul mod about the same historical period as Vanilla game. Hi everyone, today focus on the major changes to the campaign. A short view of a new battle system featuring the 900 new units and some technical tips for installation and optimization. Welcome to 367 AD, 30 years before base game. Hence, have not yet pushed multiple peoples into migration, and you are just before the Great Barbarian Coalition of 368, a massive invasion of Britain that will shake Roman authority in the island. You can play there as Manius Maximus, an historical Roman usurper with its own script campaign, or try the challenge with Armenia, a new playable faction constantly threatened by the Sassanid. Notice that some playable factions disappear, the Danes, Sclaveni, and the White Hands, and the Tanukid replaced by the Saracens. Moreover, 15 non-playable Barbarian and Horde factions enrich the campaign map. The first major modification concerns Hands mechanic. These are now represented by 4 factions with new invasion scripts, replacing Attila's birth, majority, and death. Prepare to fight strong elite armies during your campaign, some featuring up to 34 units group per army for some scripts. They are a true plague and add a significant challenge across all campaigns. Visigoth, Ostrogoth, and about 15 other barbarian factions gain migration scripts with reinforced army, adding more pressure to the Roman empires. Other historical scripts introduced fragile vassal treaties or feudality pact for the Romans that should be hard to maintain. Inspired by Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion, a secondary army system is added. By starting migration, AI or player receives the colonist unit armies, less powerful than standard units that appears proportionally to the numbers of cities controlled before the migration. This makes colonization easier, especially for the AI, with hordes tend to wander aimlessly on the campaign map. Hordes can now encamp, using 100% of their movement points in the campaign, adding the previous 25% movement limitation for switching to campment mode. This gives them far greater freedom and movement and add dynamism to the game. Key historical characters now require multiple battles to die before their natural death. Another change, the AI recognizes devastated land with excellent efficiencies, maybe too much sometimes. The Hands, focusing heavily on the east, constantly raising recolonized territories, significantly slowing down their advance toward Western Europe. Historical localized rebellions spiced up Roman campaign by spawning rebel armies. Meanwhile, the Western Roman Empire resists longer thanks to their own scripts. In one of my campaigns, they held Italy and Hispania for over 150 turns before collapsing. That enabled late game clashes with this faction correcting their huge weakness in the base game. You can trade the region with other factions or seed them for recruitment slots or gold bonuses, an interesting tool that could be a little considered as a cheat. Use it if you request it. New edict appears, religious affects, faction traits, and cultural elements have been rebalanced for more coherent experience. Economically, construction costs for some buildings are reduced, facilitating solid income. However, once a hedge is reached, a monetary inflation script caps your gain, encouraging investment in buildings and mass recruitment. City and horde encampment growth are quicker, making it easier to reach Tier 4 city development. And raiding also gain far more gold. About Battle and Unity, colossal historical research. Based on Unititia Digniatum, a 5th century document describing the post-Diocletian and Constantinian reformed Roman army, has reworked Roman units, and all barbarian and eastern factions have new rosters according to their cultural identities, including unique variation for each faction. A regional units recruitment system limits, based on culture and geography, affects garrison, composed of local units independent of the controlling faction. The units reform system, that could be strange sometimes in Attila, have been rebalanced. The official mod website, not really user-friendly I admit but at least existing, details recruitment limits for elite and regional units. For instance, The Sassanids can recruit only 7 base elephant units and 2 elite elephant units in Province 17 near India. Battles are slower and quite different from vanilla, with new fight animations. Defensive armies gain many deployables, and many infantry units carry javelin to align with the modder's vision of period. Some hybrid swarmmen units gain spears in their front line. It is the case for some skirmisher, and it is not only for cosmetic. Indeed, cavalry dominates battlefield, more powerful than in the base game, they are more brutal and can easily slaughter isolated units or unprotected flanks. Infantry defensive formation thus become crucial to counter this threat. Certain faction-mounted archers have exceptional ranges, and other cavalries are ultra-fast, making open terrain fights harder against factions that gain strength mainly from cavalry. New special abilities enrich gameplay, and siege weapons are heavily nerfed, especially against walls, with reduced damage and accuracy. On the other hand, a new shrapnel projectile type specialized against infantry appears, alongside the giant ballista and onagor for some factions. Shaders and graphical updates provide clearer visual, closer to Thrones of Britannia. Units look graphically decent but sober than in mods like Medieval Kingdom 1212 ARD or Age of Justinian. Graphic units are not the best strength of the mod, but it's still enjoyable to watch it. However, we've noticed the absence of a global campaign objective beyond mission goal, which may frustrate some of you in extended campaign. Technically, FIREFORGED EMPIRE pushed the poorly optimized Attila to its limit. I don't hide you that older hardware setup may struggle. For everyone, I recommend you to use this performance mode, above the fourth part of the main mode to minimize the slowdown. Don't forget to stick to normal unit scale for units to avoid performance and pathfinding issue in siege battles. A critical point, the ballast.pack file. Adding regional units for Roman faction can cause crashes during AI turns for the Eastern or Western Roman Empire. It is due to an Attila engine limitation preventing the AI to recruit too much units type at the same turn. When crashing, the only fix is to disable this file, continue the campaign, and reactivate it once the problematic Roman faction has collapsed. This significantly impacts the player experience, especially as Rome, since you lost access to many regional units. Occasionally, army spawns off-map to bypass script bug. Despite its higher difficulty, the mod is fully playable on very hard, while Legendary is for the best of you. Hope you enjoyed this first video, drop a like or comment to support the channel. This was Forgetter, see you soon!